Science, our beautiful, throbbing rod of unbridled creativity. Every day it showers this planet with its meticulous offerings of its icky, protein-laden knowledge for all to accept, with arms and mouths wide open. Now, before I delve too far into today's topic, I'd like to take a moment to address some concerns that were raised during my recent speech at the local St. Phyllis Diller Academy, where it was revealed to me that reads my nonsensical tirades seek only to educate the lowest rungs of society. As a matter of fact, my understanding of science as a whole is fueled by a complete lack of knowledge on the merits of science as a whole and, in fact, reality as we know it. May I burn forever in a volcanic hellscape of my own making for eternity after my soul has left this mortal form. Signed, Dean Randall Lokiff. Well, Dean, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my throbbing chest erection for this heartfelt letter that you've sent to me. It means so very much to myself and the Because It's Science crew. Now, I understand that the university absolutely adored the 4-hour seminar put on by our very own Estelle Getty Lee, entitled Poking for All, A Beginner's Guide to Getting Infected and Plaguing Your Entire Neighborhood. And, of course, my erotic one-person show on the removal of the human kidney saw me dancing around nude, of course, screaming at the front row in a surreal performance art piece that was actually done from the viewpoint of the organ itself. I tell you, I have never seen more elderly women in awe of my presence as I did that night. But, you know, with this letter being sent to us, despite all the flowery words and heaping praises given, I've come to realize that lately we've been lacking a bit in the factual department. It's with that epiphany that I, Professor Sponge Dinkle, would like to promise to all of you loyal science cadets that starting today and every episode after, Because It's Science will be chock full of the scientific and irrefutable facts you all crave. And I'd like to kick that off with our next topic. Flying piranha, the winged fins of death. My mistake. The miracle of birth, or as I like to call it,
bloodbath at high noon.
Now, as we all know, birth is ultimately a completely meaningless act that only serves to give us more humans to eventually lay across that sacrificial altar for our holy swine gods to feast upon. But the miracle of birth does in fact have its positives. And that's what I'm here to talk with my guest about today. He's a professor at the University of Los Angeles, California, or as we know it, UCLAC. He spent many years studying the mysteries of the telekinetic children of suburban Wyoming. And next year, he'll be appearing in the new glam metal band, Your Mother's Vagina. Please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Stephen Korpf. And we're back after an unexpected cancellation. Luckily, we did happen to find a brand new guest just hanging out outside the alley of our studios. He's a professor at MIT. Please help me welcome Milroy Jenkins. I was 13 when the fields of acid overflowed into the great river, frying the fish and causing the ocean floor to mutate. My eyes ejaculated flames of obsession and joy when I saw the vengeful Vikings riding unicorns from the sky. Our salvation? Our disgrace? We all mated for weeks on end upon seeing such beauty, and then sacrificed all men across the phallic altar of Odin. Only I survived the massacre, having no male definition. It was then that I ran. I ran until my lungs squealed like two pigs in violent coitus. A violent blessing that only the powerful gods of unholy creation could froth at the witness of. Yes, it was beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you, Milroy, for that astounding speech. That has no doubt expanded not only my mind, but the minds of all of our devoted science cadets. Thank you, so from the bottom of my heart. And I truly hope that we can get you on for future episodes. Oh my. Now, to give us his undisputed scientific knowledge on the process of birth, we're now going to go to the newest member of the Because It's Science crew, Dr. Scott Mitchson. Over to you, Scott.
Thank you, Sponge. As you all may know, the miracle of childbirth is a horrifying experience. Now, we know pregnancy begins with the introduction of a parasitic vine-like organism that inserts itself into the host via saliva. Through 3 excruciating months, the human subject mutates as the living organism inside the womb feeds off the female innards, which will regrow like the appendages of certain reptiles. With time, the fetus expands into the size of a laserdisc player and is passed through the body in the same fashion as a hefty bowel movement. After the fetus is excreted from the female body, it morphs into the very common human form that we all comfortably recognize in society. Now, until the child can accept solid food, he must live on a strict diet of worms and grubs until he can accept solid, normal, healthy human foods like greasy burgers and fried dough. So, as you can see, the miracle of birth is so awe-inspiring, yet still traumatizing, especially for the female host, whose body never fully recovers from the brutal assault of the young's feeding of her fragile body. Given time, she'll return to the repressed and completely submissive individual that society forces her to be. And on that, we have covered all ground on how our species overpopulates this planet. Back to you, Sponge.
Fetuses can totally escape the womb, and they're bloodthirsty. They'll attack anybody they come across. This is an actual problem that the medical community is facing.
No way. Oh my God, Sponge, we're on the air.
And we're back. And we'd like to thank Scott Mitchson for his insight on warthog telepathy.
No! Are you screwing with me, Sponge? It's the miracle of birth.
The miracle of birth. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this brilliant episode of Because It's Science. Be sure to tune in next time when our special guest is none other than Paul Schaefer, who will be enlightening us as to his studies on the vampire snails of northern Michigan. From all of us here at the studios, this is Sponge Dinkle telling you to do science as nature intended. Anally. We'll see you next time. Oh, yeah.